Hello, Dr. King and fellow classmates. My name is Casey, and I'd like to talk about the shortcomings of electronic communication and the potential ramifications that those shortcomings could have on a generation like ours that was introduced to electronic communication at a very young age and has since been sort of replacing interpersonal conversation with these sort of snappy, simple conversations. So the question is, how does that affect us in a sort of literary sense? Well, when you're used to very simple meanings, it might be harder, and this is something I've noticed, that myself included, our generation has a harder time picking up on things like subtext or things with complex meaning, things like sarcasm. So I want you to take, for example, a text that looks like this. It says, "Wow, thanks so much," is the kind of text you get all the time. This is a completely ambiguous text. You don't know if the person sending this is being sarcastic or sincere. The problem is that our generation, we take this at face value and we assume that they're being sincere. We make that simplification in our minds. We say, there's probably not a complex meaning to this. So the problem is when we make that simplification over and over again all throughout our lives and we lack interpersonal conversation, we're making that simplification too often. And so that makes it more difficult when you're reading a literary work, for example, to pick up on complex meanings. Also, when you shift from classes where mostly we're writing essays and we shift to a class like this where we're doing video presentations and speeches, it's more difficult for us to articulate complex and ironic meanings. That could be a serious problem for the rest of the semester. So what is the solution? Well, the solution really is using context clues or just context in general. But when you're reading a literary work, for example, looking at the previous sentence might give you a clue that maybe this sentence is supposed to be ironic. Also, in delivering speech, giving your audience context by using things like nonverbal cues. So for example, your tone of voice, your hand gestures, facial expressions. Those are very important tools to maybe clue the audience in that you're being sarcastic or that what you're saying has a complex meaning. That's something I look to improve on throughout the rest of the semester, and I really look forward to it. Also, Dr. King, I'd like to thank you for assigning a video project because as you can tell, I don't get nervous at all in front of a camera,